Hello everybody and welcome back. We're talking about the Wheel of Time again, and I am loving it. The anticipation for season 2 is really ramping up. A few weeks ago we got our first teaser trailer, and Amazon recently added a new post-credit scene to the final episode of season 1. Isn't it great to have so much to discuss after such a long dry spell? This is what rain in the Freefold land must feel like. But here's the rub. When I released my non-book reader review of the trailer, I got a few comments from people who were so disappointed with the first season that they have completely written off season 2, which I think is a shame. So I wanted to jump on here real quick and give you my reasons why I think season 2 is going to be so much better. The first reason is better villains. This prediction is based on the new post-credit scene Amazon included at the end of season 1, episode 8. Similarly to the prologue from the second book, The Great Hunt, we're invited to briefly attend a Dark Friends social, where followers of the Dark One come together for a bit of a gossip. The main difference from the book is we witness the meeting through the perspective of a little girl, presumably one of the Tuatha, which is a neat idea to up the creepy factor. The reason I found this scene so promising is because it directly addresses one of my biggest problems with the first season, the lack of villains with personality. In early episodes, our main characters are stalked by plenty of Trollocs and Myrddraal during waking hours, and a weird walking jack-o'-lantern in their dreams. But if you were to ask what villainous scene stood out to me, I would say the introduction of the White Cloaks and Egwene's interrogation by Aemon Valder. I'd also throw in the Dark Friend twist towards the end of episode 3, only slightly ruined by the comedic chase scene that was one camera angle away from belonging in an episode of Scooby-Doo. What do all these scenes have in common? Baddies that can talk. The Wheel of Time is full of complicated villains with weird and varied reasons behind their evil actions in the book series. So it was disappointing to see the evil in the show being represented by mute monsters, especially when most films and TV today are full of morally mixed up baddies with understandable if disdainful motivations. We got a bit of this at the very end of the series when the character haunting Rand's dreams finally removes his mask, or more accurately absorbs his mask. But the dialogue in these scenes is intentionally vague to make us think this could be the Dark One, and so we don't get to learn much about the incentives behind their sinister actions. Fortunately, the new trailer and post-credit scene is fully leaning into this character being one of the Forsaken, and the Dark One's strongest lieutenant at that. We also see at the Dark Friends social an Aes Sedai, a White Cloak, a Shienaran, and a Tuatha in attendance, suggesting that some of the more stimulating sinners from the books are making it into the TV show. The clip even had us sympathising with Trollocs. Talk about blurring the lines between good and evil. And tell me that doesn't lead to more compelling conflict. Reason number 2, the second book is better. This is objective, of course, but in my opinion, the first book feels like a bit of a practice run and borrows a lot of classic fantasy tropes from stories like The Lord of the Rings. The Great Hunt is where the more unique aspects of the Wheel of Time really start to shine. I'm mainly referring to the Seanchan invasion, which we saw a glimpse of in the first post-credit scene at the end of season 1, but appears to take centre stage during the teaser trailer for season 2. The Seanchan are a very unique culture, and their introduction into the series starts to really set the Wheel of Time apart from other books in the fantasy genre. The insect-headed invaders completely change up the game and raise the stakes for our main characters. Imagine if in The Lord of the Rings everybody was gearing up to fight the forces of Mordor, and then an entirely new continent decided to invade Middle-earth. Tell me you're not intrigued by that premise. When reading the books, the threat of the Seanchan felt both fresh and horrifying. Without giving away any spoilers, be prepared to see some barbaric action in season 2 that will have Winternight looking like pre-Watershed TV. Finally, from what we've seen of season 2 so far, the world of the show looks and feels much more lived in. And by this, I mean a few things. For starters, everybody working on the production will have had another couple years of experience, and the actors will have had more time to get to know the characters they're portraying. You can already see some massive improvements from the first season in the marketing material for season 2. Just look at what everybody's wearing. A complaint I kept hearing in the build-up to Season 1 was how clean and costumey everything looked. This impression is much less prominent in the Season 2 trailer, and that's saying a lot considering how extravagant some of these costumes are. From a writing standpoint, a first season has more balls in the air than an A-grade Gleeman. It has to include world building, introducing main characters, delivering exposition, and most of the flaws from Season 1, in my opinion, were down to poor prioritization with regard to these aspects. Looking at you, Stepan. But Season 2 has the opportunity to revisit some of these loose threads from the first season. Parent. And with much of the exposition already established, a second season will have more time to focus on interesting storytelling. So, those are my reasons why I am confident Season 2 of The Wheel of Time will be better. And I hope that this video has managed to convince at least some naysayers to give the show another chance. And if you'd like to see my coverage of the second season, then please do subscribe to this channel, because even if I'm wrong, at least there'll be plenty of meme potential.